When people think of downsizing, they usually come up with a rosy picture of a carefree living, more time to travel, or more time to enjoy hobbies, and meeting with friends, etc. All these things are good stuff and worth looking forward to. However, before you reach that state, and there's a process, and along the process, we saw people made so many mistakes. In fact, some of them made so many mistakes that they regret of making such a change. So in this episode, I'm going to go over these top 5 major mistakes that people made, so that I hope that you will not make such mistakes when it comes to you to downsize. So let's dive in. Number 1, this is a big one, cost. There are several costs related to downsize that you need to pay attention to. Number 1, the sale of your current home. And in New Jersey, seller is responsible for real estate transfer tax. So this is usually equivalent to 1% of the sales price, and you need to be aware of that. The next one is a capital gain tax. If you have been living in your house for decades and you know that house price has gone up, house value has gone up so much, especially during the past several years. The average home value increase nationwide was 45%. So chances are you have built up a large chunk of equity, which is good. But when it comes to sell, you are probably going to have to pay a capital gain tax after you take out the home sale tax exclusion. Obviously, this is you need to have a conversation with your accountant to make sure you are aware of the financial consequence as a result of selling this home. The next one is a real estate commission. So besides the cost of selling a home, there will also be a cost to buy your next home. So that will involve the purchase price and the miscellaneous cost that's associated with the transaction. And after you sold your current house or bought the next house, when it comes to the current house and the next house, and you need to decide one thing, is that do you need to sell your current house and use the equity from selling the current house to buy your next house? Or you have sufficient funds where you can get a bridge loan for you to get the next house first, and you move everything over and then prepare your current house for sale. Because different options will require different strategy. So you need to decide early on and work closely with a real estate professional to guide you through the process based on the option you decided to work with. All right. So after that, the next major cost is moving cost. Whether you are going to move within the local area or from town to town or county to county or even state to another state, the moving cost is going to be expensive. And you need to budget that one in order to, you don't want to have surprises. You will want to have a proper budget for that. And related cost that is related to moving is a storage fee. This is the situation when you have a lot of furniture or certain items in your home that you do not know how to use them in your next home, but you're not ready to get rid of them. So chances are you're going to put them in the storage. And because of that, there will be a recurring fee for the storage. And next one is cost of furniture. If you are moving from a single family house, especially the large ones, moving into a smaller house, whether it is a ranch style home or apartment or a condo building with an elevator, right? There's a possibility that the current furniture won't fit into your next home. And if that's the case, you will have to buy new furniture. So that's an additional cost. Number 2 major mistake is that people didn't have a careful consideration of the location, the layout, and the size of their next home. So here's what I mean. When it comes to deciding where they want to move to, right? The first thing you have to think about is that what kind of lifestyle do you have in mind for your next chapter of your life? because what you have here, obviously it is the house is becoming too big, the property is too big to maintain, right? So you want to downsize, move into a smaller house. But there are certain things that are you ready to give up? For instance, if you are a couple or if you are a family, kids like to visit you, right? Kids and the grandkids come to visit you often or sometimes stay over, right? And if you want to continue doing that, then that will affect your choice of how many bedrooms you want to have in your next house. Maybe you will still need to have a 3 to 4 bedroom, but on a smaller scale. Another thing is that if you like to invite families and friends to come into for entertainment or something, and you're not going to have such big enough space, and will that be an issue, right? You need to know the answers to these questions in order for you to prepare for the move. And next one is that people underestimate the value of a basement. When people live in a large single family home, and usually they have a basement, and sometimes their basement is finished, and people use the basement for families to hang out or to put their gym equipment or additional office space or additional storage space. But once you move into a condo or you move into a ranch style, and you are going to miss that part. And how are you going to organize your new life and according to the new layout? That is a topic you have to discuss between you and your spouse. The third major mistake is that people don't understand HOA managed community that well. So when people think about living in a HOA managed community, and the first thing come to their mind is that, okay, it's going to be a carefree lifestyle because we pay a fee to the association, and the association takes care of the maintenance of the lawn and the common area and the extra, etc., right? So that's the benefit of that. But just like everything else in life, everything has its pros and cons. So the cons in this particular situation is that HOA has its rules and regulations. In fact, that some of the HOA are pretty strict with implementing their rules. For instance, one of my past clients, because he received a letter from the HOA in January asking him to take down the holiday decorative lights from his property, and he was so upset. He said, since when other people have to tell me what to do to my own property? So because of that, he sold his house, single family house in a subdivision, and moved to another place that doesn't have such kind of control. The best way to understand what life is like living in such an environment is to ask people who are currently living there. And this might be, you might have friends or relatives living in this community, or with the help of your realtor, you can go to ask some of the current homeowners to see, what is life like living in this community, and how strict are the rules, right? And you want to get a sense in this area. At the same time, you will want to have a conversation with the association by calling them and ask them, okay, when was the last time a major project was done, such as a roof replacement or siding replacement, etc. And take a look at your budget for the year, because you want to understand if there's any major project coming up in the near future. If so, the cost is likely to be shared by the residents. That's the cost that in addition to the monthly association fee, right? And finally, you need to find out how frequently the association fee increases, because association fee can become expensive. And if you are someone who lives in a fixed income, then if the continuous increase of the association fee can become expensive and eventually affect the quality of your life. So things like this, you want to find out. Do your own due diligence, or with the help of your realtor, do your research ahead of time So you come in prepared. And the fourth mistake is that people don't consider the lifestyle change in the area that they're moving to. So whether your next house is in the same town or the next town or out of state, and you want to find out, because the living environment that you have been having over the past several decades is already there and you are getting so used to it. Probably everything that you need for living a life is within 5 to 20 minutes drive, right? Is it going to be the safe in the new area, especially if you are interested in a house that is in a new construction? Sometimes the new construction is being built in a totally rural area and the supportive facilities are not there yet. And you want to find out, okay, approximately how long it's going to take for everything to be in place. Then you can know whether your life will be affected or not. Things to check out are like where the hospital is, how easy it is to get to shopping, restaurant, and entertainment, or sports facilities. This you need to know, because if here it only takes you 15 minutes, but there, at least you have to drive 45 minutes to get grocery, then is that going to be a problem? This, it's easy to go there once, but if you have to go there, do this every week, are you going to be able to do that? You need to know. As far as the hospital is concerned, I think this is a key factor that you need to decide, because people live in our local area are very fortunate because we not only have a very good hospital nearby, if necessary, we can also easily go to the hospitals in Philadelphia or New York City. But when you move to the next place, especially when you move to a different state, you need to go there and check how far away the hospital is, because things do happen. And when you need help, you want to be able to rush to the hospital in time, right? And do your diligence and drive around to find out this information ahead of time. And finally, the last major mistake is related to the sale of your current home. Number one, people usually wait too long to prepare their home for sale. This I meant is that they start decluttering too late. You have to realize that after you live in a house for 20 years or even much longer, right? And chances are you have a whole household of stuff, good or bad, right? And it's going to, because you have lived there and you have had so much memory living in this house. So it's going to be everything is emotionally attached. And it takes time for you to sort things out and decide what goes to donation and what goes to friends or family and what you're going to take to your next house. You want to start early. The kind of early is like a start, 12 months ahead to start sorting things out and go through each room by room. This way you give yourself sufficient time and to go through the stuff at the same time. Sometimes you could get emotional when you're going through all this stuff. Allow yourself sufficient time to go through all this so that you can prepare the house properly. And number two is that people think, okay, I prepare the house and then, when I'm ready, I will contact a realtor, right? I think that's too late. You want to engage a realtor early on. This is why. Let me give you an example. Just one time, a homeowner contacted me, say, hey, Nicole, they were very excited, say, hey, Nicole, we just finished our home renovation and please take a look and we're ready to, to list the house. So I want to see the house. Yes, they did the renovation and it looks much better, much newer than it was before. But the thing is that the renovation they did is not with the most up-to-date style. What does it mean? It means that it's a waste of money, because if it is not what the current buyers are looking for, then whatever you put there will carry a zero value in the eyes of the potential buyer. So you want to engage a realtor early on. So the realtor needs to be, you want to engage an experienced realtor who understands the local market very well to guide you through this process. And this including how to prepare the house. Not all the renovation is necessary. How you can spend the minimum amount of money to get the maximum amount of result. And this is when the realtor's experience matters, all right? And this way you avoid the chance of doing the things that is costly, is time consuming, but in the end doesn't get you a good result. And finally, the issue is that, I understand that this is your property for the past several decades and you have had so many good memories living here. But now it's time to part ways. And when you are living in the house, it is a home. But when you are ready to put the house on the market, it becomes a product. So you need to prepare for it. You need to prepare the house. At the same time, you need to price it according to the ongoing market condition, right? And this, you need to work closely with an experienced agent who knows the market intimately. Because overpricing, right? Because the homeowners have lived there for so long, they tend to see the value much bigger than they actually are, right? And then so you need to work with the realtor closely to guide you through this process, because overpricing hurts nobody but yourself and your bottom line. You don't want that to happen. So that's the 5 top mistakes that we usually see when it comes to downsizing. I hope you find the information helps. By the way, if we haven't met, I'm Nicole Mook, a local realtor helping people buy and sell real estate in the greater Princeton market. So if you find the information helpful, subscribe and share the information with people who are ready to downsize. And when you are ready to downsize, let's connect. I would be happy to schedule a free consultation to provide you an equity analysis report and come up with a personalized game plan for you. Because downsizing should feel like a freedom, shouldn't feel like a forced march. And start early, know your numbers, pick your trade-offs, and plan accordingly. If you do all of this, the move can become simple. All right, so I hope you find the content helpful. And until next time, take care.